Hi, Candy McCune here. When I blogged about the noise and overwhelm caused by too much information in our lives, that was about health and supplement issues, I shared what I did about that. I pared it down to just 3 people that I chose to follow. One, a key person, is Dr. Joel Wallach, and I promised I would explain in future blogs more of the why. Well, I've summarized a story from Dr. Wallach's book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, which illustrates a core principle, and that explains a huge part of who he is and why he's important to me. Do you know the backstory of Dr. Wallach and the Pig Arthritis Pact? Well, it's me. The preamble starts on page 162 of my copy of the Dead Doctors Don't Lie. I'd heard Dr. Wallach speak a few times, and he correctly said many people cringe when I attack the medical profession. Then they ask him to describe the ideal doctor. Well, his answer is revealing. He says first a doctor should do no harm to patients, and then he shares statistics that are shocking about that. He says money should not be the driving force in the doctor's soul, and he uses Mother Teresa's story about that. But he makes it clear he's not critical of every medical doctor, but he points out some that should be revered. But he also accepts they're only human. But what separates them from other doctors is that they loved their patients more than they loved their own comforts. He mentions the work at Hospital Santa Monica. He saw many good doctors, and that's where he began to work and refine his nutritional formulas. The original formulation of the pig arthritis formula was expensive. It cost $500 to $1,000 per month for everybody. The huge number of pills, 90 per day, caused a great deal of gastrointestinal problems, so the patients affectionately called it the B&F disease, belching and farting. Along with the high costs, people had to carry a shopping bag full of bottles everywhere they went. People would take these until they got results, but then, due to the cost and the management issues, they quit. So symptoms eventually would return and they would go back again. It was a vicious cycle. Dr. Wallach said even though the formula would regrow cartilage and bone, the long-term compliance was just too difficult to maintain for them. So he kept going, he kept searching. Then he learned that there was a liquid multiple trace mineral supplement available called Mineral Toddy. It was produced by Rockland, USA, and it came from prehistoric plant deposits that were never fossilized or petrified. It was a tea that had 77 minerals in the plant-derived colloidal form, and because they were plant-derived instead of ground-up rocks, they were up to 90% absorbable. But they were very astringent. In fact, Dr. Wallach describes it saying, if you drink it straight, it will shrink-wrap your lips over your teeth. Well, he was amazed that his patients voluntarily put 1 or more ounces of this liquid into their vegetable and fruit juice, and they drank it. But he was excited because there were more than 70 minerals in that liquid, and you didn't need 30 different bottles of various individual minerals. Plus, it prevented the B&F disease. Well, he researched it intensely. He had never heard of colloidal minerals. So he used his training and experience, and you can see a list of just some of this, and he jumped into it fully. He revamped the formula to take advantage of the liquid. The pill count came down from 90 to 6 per day. The liquid was put in 5 ounces of calcium-enriched Minute Maid orange juice, which even children could drink. Then he added 100% kosher beef gelatin. Why? It's primarily collagen, but it also provides chondroitin sulfate and glucosamine sulfate. Now these 3 substances, he said, are the basic building blocks of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, and bone matrix. Bone matrix? Well, it was interesting. He says that is the gelatinous foundation of bone, and if you don't have it, most new supplemental calcium couldn't be retained in your bones, and most of what's absorbed just gets urinated out of the body. So it's pretty important. He even gives you a high school biology experiment in this section. Read up on it, it's interesting. A third ingredient was added, an ounce of Rockland Mineral Toddy, and it was a plant-derived liquid colloidal trace mineral supplement. Fourth, he added one from the toddy, and it was a nutrient supplement, and added 16 vitamins, 13 amino acids. It was more than I can even imagine figuring it out, but putting it all together. It came to 7.5 ounces of liquid, and he put it in an orange juice base. Tasted pretty good, and was easy to take, and it was economical. No benefit, another one, no B&F disease. totally liquid approach to the pig arthritis formula. They told their friends, their relatives, and colleagues who began to look for his booth at trade shows and health seminars, and the movement spread like wildfire. This story brought me back to my start with longevity about 6 years ago. My introduction to the basic 90 for life was through the Healthy Body Start Pack. Just three things: two different powder canisters, and I mixed that into a tasty drink, tweaked it a little bit with some frozen strawberries. And then the third thing was EFAs, 3 capsules daily. Boy, that was simple. I never expected the great changes that came my way. No more taking 10 to 12 ibuprofen daily for this arthritic thumb joint problem I had in both joints. It was gone. And it wasn't till much later I could look back and realize other positives, like I had more energy, no more morning grog feeling, and I was already in my late 60s, so I had been expecting to gradually get worse, not better, as I aged. Dr. Wallach had my attention, and I tuned in. I learned how to clean up my diet from him, and I did. And I learned that sometimes you have to have a therapeutic dose of supplements, especially when that situation was long-standing like mine or severe. So the present-day version of Dr. Wallach's pig arthritis formula is the Healthy Body Bone and Joint Pack, which I now take. And I have over 20 years of ibuprofen use with which I mask the pain. Plus bone and joint health is huge to me, so I'm going to stay there. But I found another piece was my need for circulatory system support. My right eye had been blacking out for about once a month, and my MD told me it was early signs of TIAs. Those are mini strokes. And he put me on baby aspirin. That was about 5 years before I came to longevity, where I learned about the therapeutic level of circulatory support nutrition. My MD admitted that baby aspirin did not address the underlying issue, but only masked the symptoms. Yep. So I went the supplement route for my circulatory system, and I haven't used baby aspirin since. And not only did the symptoms not return, but my circulatory system has shown other signs of how well it's functioning. Do you think I appreciate this dedicated Dr. Wallach, who most definitely loved his patients more than he loved his own comfort? You bet. When you read the full details of the story I shared, you realize the time, the money, and effort he invested in creating not just an effective supplement, but one that his patients could manage and use consistently to get healthy. Well, personally, I feel so indebted to this man for my life and health. I couldn't help but say, when I finally got to walk through a line of people to shake his hand and get a hug, "Thank you for saving my life." And you know what? I heard that same phrase repeated by people all the way down the line. If you viewed the video that I show you here, I placed it in a previous blog, number 31, Wow, I Missed This, then you can see at the end of it the emotion in his response. And I'm talking about that. So now you know why Dr. Wallach is one of my three, why he's important to me. And I'll search out his wisdom on health and supplement issues and value it greatly. So in another blog, I will try to round up all the ways I search out Dr. Wallach's wisdom and share that with you. But meanwhile, since I mentioned health issues, my lawyers say I must give you this disclaimer. Food and dietary supplement products I mentioned are not intended for use in the prevention, treatment, mitigation, or cure of any disease or health-related condition. And yep, those are the magic words we cannot say. This is Candy McCune, your guide to better health. Please scroll down and leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you.